Hi, everyone. Here we are. Woohoo! We're just talking about music. We love music. We were all talking about music behind the scenes. And Diana's going to go see a good group of people in September. She got something to look forward to. And I think Chicago's coming back here in September. And I had such a good time last year. I think I'll go again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chicago, you know?
Yeah.
1, 8, 5, 4, 6, 2, 4.
Well, welcome everybody to the Dream Show. We are a little slim this evening because our friend Terry has her sister visiting, which I'm happy for her. And also Kelly's son is having his 30th birthday, Landon. He sometimes comes to the chat room. So I'm happy, and happy birthday to Landon. And Kelly's got a bunch of birthdays coming up, she said, because there's a lot of Geminis in her family. So yeah, we got Geminis coming up, and then we have Terry is a Leo, and so is Carolyn. And so we have that coming up as we go along here. So we're looking forward to that.
And I admit to nothing.
You admit to nothing? Okay. Terry I think her birthday is July 30th. Is that close to yours?
August 13th.
Okay.
I was born on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Well, no wonder you like the woo-woo stuff. That makes a lot of sense.
I know somebody who was born on Friday the 13th. I actually gave birth to them.
Oh, well, then you certainly know them intimately. Anyway, everyone. Yeah.
It's a lucky day for me.
I've always had good Friday the 13th, Carolyn. I really have. They've always been lucky for me. So
me too.
Yeah, I like that. That's really nice. So Ness, I'll give you just a minute or two and you can pop in and tell us your dream. I have Charlie here tonight and CJ, Mary Thornberry. Nice to see everybody. Sally, Barbara Nesper, Laura Hammond Davis, Wicky's here, Linda Kennedy, and Mary Starshine, Create Love, and Oil Painter's here. What do you know?
And we're dancing.
So I do have to say that on Saturday night, I popped into Ginger Faye's show with Raymond, and I'm glad you two were able to meet Raymond as well. Isn't he wonderful? He's such a nice guy. And Carolyn and Peter were there, and they were in a haunted house, and they were able to connect with some of the spirits there. Even though the spirit box didn't work, Carolyn's spirit box worked, and she was able to do it. So if you get a chance, go on over to Ginger Faye's channel and check it out. That's what we were talking about when we first got here, Diana. So yeah, very, very interesting. And it's still something I want to do with this group. And I'm still thinking we'll try to do it at some point, because I think it would be a lot of fun, you know, if you could get somebody to go to a place and do that here. So yeah. All right. So Mary, Gemini rising and a Gemini moon. Well, you're a double Gemini. There you go. Hi, Annie Bear.
Thornberry?
Yeah.
Or Mary Starshine?
Nope, Mary Thornberry is. Mary Thornberry.
Hey, girl.
Is. Yeah. Mary Starshine does say that you rock, though, Diana. Yeah. So there you go. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm trying to get myself sort of coming down. I even went out and walked in the grass barefoot today for a while and sat in the sun for a while, because the sunspot solar storm stuff is really making me feel like an airhead. And Diana said the same thing. So be interested to know if anybody else is feeling anything from this, because this was supposed to be the one that happened today was the worst one in this 11-year cycle, is what I heard.
Yeah, 8.79 X-flare.
X-flare. Yeah.
Well, I had internet issues, but it was a planned outage because Xfinity was upgrading, and they've been doing this for the past 3 months. So they texted me at 12:30 and said, "Your internet's back on." Well, no, it's not. So for 3 hours, I sat on the phone trying to get this, because they don't talk to you anymore. They don't call.
No, I know they don't. Yeah.
Right. So it's all this text message. After about 14 tries, the texting machine says, you don't have Wi-Fi connected to your account. So what are you talking about? What's this bill I keep paying?
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
how come I got shit all the time?
Then,
So
yeah. Did I stick my
I-
finger in a socket and bring it
Yeah,
on
right.
myself? Yeah.
So I had to call, I had to look up and call another number to get
Mhm.
connected with some
Wow.
customer service.
Yeah.
So at least this time I'm texting to someone who's parked in a car down the street.
Yeah.
They don't come in, they don't interact with you anymore. Nobody can accuse anybody of anything.
I know. I know. It's between that or it's the same way with going to the doctor. They only take care of your ear or your throat or your heart or your leg, but
But they
nobody
can't put the
connects the
pieces
dots.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So,
Not at all. Very sad. Yeah.
at least this person was helpful and stuck with me. And now in all of the times that they have had this planned outage, and I
Mhm.
haven't had any internet, I have never had to unplug the modem. I had never had to go back in and sign in again or all of that business. So now I'm text messaging with this guy for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. And it comes down to the fact that I needed to flip the switch for my account in my settings to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But it took,
I've done that before. Yeah.
Oh,
They do I know. It's nothing's easy. Nothing's easy anymore. No,
and
not at all.
all I said was, it's better than having something happen to the car to keep me home.
Well, that's very true, Diana. Yes, there you go. Yep. You don't need any more of that problem. That's right. So hello, Teresa. Hello, Lori. Yes, Ness, the energies are very powerful. I agree. Saturday was very intense. You could feel it then. Yep. I understand. Oh, you watched Annie's videos. So Lori, I love this. I was talking to myself today. You do that a lot, Lori.
Of course you were.
And I was relieved that I knew about the solar flare. Today, I'm that old school saying that I'm dumber than dirt today. Little or no ability to function. You are not alone, sister. You are not alone. Yeah.
Box and it's broken.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. When I was out, and I have a phone that you just put this pattern on it and it opens your phone, but I couldn't remember what the pattern was, and it was ridiculous because it wasn't a difficult pattern, and that was the other day. So I totally get it. But hi, Linda Kennedy. It's good to see you too. So Ness, if you wanted to come on in, if you've got the link. Okay, Mary, we'll check on your dream next. When is this solar flare stuff going away?
2026, when the Earth flips over.
Are you kidding me? This is
No.
going to go on and on?
This is going to go on and on. The magnetic pole shift isn't going to be done for a while yet. And if plugging Suspicious Observer just put out a video about, what time is it? Let's say it was about 2.5 hours ago. And it's only an 8-minute video. And then this morning, Stefan Burns put out a video that just explains. So if you don't understand how all of this is read, he explains by dismantling, what we just went through and what all these graphs mean and stuff like that.
But we have to just get used to this, I guess.
Yeah,
Wow.
we just have to get used to this because
That's
it's going to go on
good.
for a while longer.
I didn't know it was going to be 2 more years.
Well, it's actually going to be longer because what Suspicious Observers said is that the big thing happens in 2030.
I probably won't be here. So
yes, you will.
Anyway,
we can't do this without you, right? Hi, Ness.
Hi, Ness. It's wonderful to see you. Thanks for jumping in. So what have you got to give us today?
Yeah, so I had an interesting dream last night that kind of redefined my concept of what's possible in dreams. And the only way I know how to say this is chronological, so I apologize if I'm not delivering it in the most elegant. So many months ago, maybe a year ago, I had this dream, and it had 3 phases. It had this dream where I stayed at a hotel I used to stay at for work that was in India. And then I had different moments around that experience. And then I met some family members. And then we had decided to take a road trip to this like place nearby, and we had a meal there, and it was a particular type of meal. And we had a third part where we went to a wedding, and then I think we went on a fourth part. Like it was like 3 different, fourth acts. So last night I had a dream, and I interacted with family members, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Don't you remember? I was there for like the second and third act of that. We met each other." And then they described the meal I had. That's true. That was the meal I had. And it was mind-boggling because I've never had to be in a dream and remember a previous dream, which I cannot in my waking. But it was so detailed. And it wasn't deja vu. It was like, oh, yeah. Then once they started telling me, I remembered the previous dream, and I couldn't remember the previous dream. And so there's something happening. So 2 things are happening. One is like my concept of what dreams are and journeys are in sleep, like what's happening in dream work is different than I thought. And the second thing is, I think there's a message that my generational ancestors are trying to have a conversation with me. And I'm wondering if you all can pull cards or something, what the message is. But in terms of the physics of dreams, I've never had that before.
Well, I just want to preface by saying that those other 2 times that you had like this wedding or whatever you were at with the family members, and that was just a few weeks or a month ago.
Yeah,
and then you had another one.
It was a different way. I mean, in Indian culture, wedding is the big social thing.
Right, I know.
So it's like, but it was a different wedding then, and it was actually a wedding in Nepal. We were going to a wedding in Nepal, or in the mountains, I guess, Himalayas and stuff like that. So, and that was there was a tiger there. And then we went to Thailand afterwards for vacation, or somewhere tropical afterwards for a second. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. There's just really specific details. I've never had 2 dreams. I've never had 2 different dreams.
So the dream you had was actually what you lived, or was it a dream that you'd had before?
My intuition says, I'm new to this whole thing, so I don't know.
I know you are. You're doing fine. Yeah.
I apologize. I feel I had an experience with people on the other side outside of my living experience with them. And we went on a vacation together that I don't think happened in time. Like, I think it happened as beings.
Yeah.
And I think something is happening when I sleep where I'm having experiences with other beings, and we're making memories. And sometimes I can access those memories here, and sometimes I can't, which kind of overwhelms me cognitively when I think about then what's happening when we're sleeping. I'm a little, it's just like, because in theory, this is the dominant reality. That's my own ignorance. Like, this is the dominant reality.
Well, it's very creative, and you are creative, and you're working creatively. But one of the questions I asked in my dream class that was something that I came up with I found long after I had taught my first dream class, which was this time. And it said, what does the dream want? Not what does the dream mean, but what does the dream want? So I'm going to let the panel here see what they have to say, and then we'll try to flush it out. But please stay. Please stay. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'm thinking that it wants you to deal with things from the past. Remember the things from the past, the things that you liked and the things that you didn't like, so that you, by being aware, you don't repeat the same mistakes in not only in the interactions with those people, but the new people that you meet in reality plane.
Relational, about being relational.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see very, very clear 7th housey-ness of it.
And it's there's so much. Not only does history repeat itself, but there are patterns to people's personalities.
Yeah.
Like identifying the narcissist and the doormat. And how all that dynamic works. So they want you to remember that as well.
Okay.
But I also believe it was a contracted meetup. I think that all of them decided, the people that showed up,
Yeah.
they all decided to be with you in that dimension. Or
Yeah, we were. I mean, it was like we all decided. We decided
Yeah.
to go visit a place together, have a meal, and come back.
go on
Which sounds
vacation.
really weird.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I love food, so I don't mind food, but that was just
Uh-huh.
very interesting.
What about
it was
you,
we
Peter
were
or
on
Carolyn?
vacation. Yeah, Peter and
Anything?
Carolyn. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're astral projecting.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sounds like it. It does.
Seems like it was also go back to a more nostalgic time.
The thing is,
happier-
I don't have any relationship with my mom's or my dad's side of the family, so these are all new experiences, which is really
Well, this is part of the point of your astral projection is to make those connections that have been lost through time
Yeah.
and to
that's
grow spiritually
Mhm.
with them.
Like taking yourself up another level together as an ancestral. Yeah. I'm thinking too that what you're talking about is lucid dreaming as well, because you remembered a dream while you were in a dream.
Yeah, but it wasn't a dream. It was like I knew it was a dream,
memory.
and then I also knew it was a memory because the
Yeah.
detail. It wasn't, and I know with deja vu you can feel, but then there's a way to with deja versus not deja vu. And it wasn't. It was, and I have written about it in my journal too, so I knew that was a previous dream I had.
That's good. Wow. I remember reading a book recently, and it is not deja vu, but there's a different kind, and it's like precog vu. In other words, that you may find yourself sitting with these people at some point, or you might have also been with them in another life or another.
Yeah, the time thing is interesting because it could have already happened.
It could have
outside of this linear, timeline,
or even in this timeline, because there are lots of multiple timelines, and
multiple dimensions.
We've tripped into them before. Yeah, we've tripped into them.
It feels like they're using this. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Carol.
It's not only precognition; it's post. It's post. It's crossing each other.
Yeah, there is a crisscross.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
and it's a good thing. This is a growing thing. This is a spiritual session that you're having with yourself.
Yeah. You're just moving so high that this is what's happening to you now. Yeah.
It's very interesting. I mean, I can see like very interesting choices with each of these social contexts, which shows more personality and interesting. Is there like a message that they're trying to tell me with like this one felt like there was like a hidden message. I don't, sometimes they give you a metaphor and then the metaphor is supposed to mean something because they're trying to communicate.
Well, you did mention a hotel right away. That was
I mean, it's a famous hotel that I was drawn to stay when I was at work. It's a 200-year-old hotel or something like that in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility.
I hear someone email saying
what?
I hear a female saying, "Come home."
Oh, interesting.
They want you back into the family. Come home.
Oh, well, yeah, the family is very, but it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to physically go.
Yeah. No, you can have different ways of connecting.
Yeah. Right. I think they're liking getting to know you through this method.
Yeah, it does feel, okay. Awesome. yeah, it was, if anything, yeah, so they'll come home if there was any other messages. Otherwise, yeah, thank you. Thank you for, I really appreciate.
Oh, you're welcome, dear. You're welcome. Of,
Yeah,
of course, I'll be interested to see what's coming up because you know how you are. And I think you're going to come up with more answers as you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I hope so. If I just didn't even know this was, I mean, it's kind of the learning curve is like one overwhelming, one overwhelming. I'm
No,
like,
it is. And it's
Well-
so different than anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana?
Do you
What?
remember when we were talking about, we had, oh my gosh, this was probably 6 months ago already, but it was like your future you catching up to the past you, and perhaps you are being introduced to you from a past life, even
Yeah,
though
you know-
everybody is appearing, in
Mhm.
this timeline.
Aspects of
How
it.
many, which one were you and which one were you?
I
in
wondered
their
too if
past
it was,
life?
yeah, I wondered if it was a past life thing too, because it was so.
But I will tell you this, and Lori's nailed it. She said of generational healing and a
Yeah,
deeper bond.
I
We
feel
are all
something is-
working with that. Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
something is happening with that. They're trying to communicate something with that.
Yes.
So it's
And
very,
that's-
I mean, maybe more dreams will reveal it. I feel like they're trying to tell me something. Like, I don't know.
That's what Lori says right there is what I guess I'm trying to drive at with this. It's the other you trying to catch up to the you are now, to let you know what it was in back there that you're still carrying with you from ancestral wounds.
Yeah.
Ancestral or
Or
childhood trauma.
ancestral DNA.
Yeah, I do feel something is
Sure.
shifting with what I'm carrying.
Yeah.
The
I
future,
like this.
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Future
like
stuff may be
it's
filling you in.
tubular, man. It's
I
tubular.
know, right? It's so, we need a
Or-
different drawing for it.
Really
It's
creative.
like the black hole.
Yeah. You were your great grandmother,
Oh, interesting.
and she
Here we go.
was a very
I'm
wise woman.
grandma.
And
Yeah.
her spirit, even though that was you, is teaching you lessons and opening up the memory of her wisdom.
Such an honor for you,
Thank you.
Ness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'll keep
Yeah.
you posted.
All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you, dear.
Yeah. Thank you.
For sure.
All right. She does have interesting dreams. I will say that. That's so
Yep.
fascinating. Yep. All right. So we have Mary. I had a dream, and in the last 2 days, things have happened during my day that reminds me of my dream. I take note, and then just like that, I remember absolutely nothing.
Squirrel.
And it's frustrating. That's the solar flares that are making you forget.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and she says, I don't remember my dream. The things happened in my real day that I remember. And then just like that, nothing. We are being bombarded, Mary. I mean, I really have to say that because I've been very airheadish and I just can't remember things like I normally do. And I feel really out of sorts. I had a dream last night that was really convoluted and it was a bunch of people that were going to some church that my brother went to, and they decided that they were going to leave Canada and come here. I would say that it should be the other way around. And we were welcoming them. I never had met them, but they said they knew my brother, not the one who just died, but the one who died a long time ago. They said, why didn't he come by and say goodbye? And I'm like, he left a long time ago, So, yeah. But it was weird. And I kept having, I'd fall back to sleep and then I'd be back and I'd be greeting these people. We were all dressed up in Civil War outfit. It was just, the whole thing was wonky. So,
Ali,
I did.
you get to say goodbye to your brother properly.
Did I get to say goodbye to him properly? The one that recently passed, yes. The one that passed in 2007. I talked to him probably a couple of weeks before he died, and he knew he was going because he needed a kidney and he wouldn't take mine, said that I needed it. And so he just ended up dying from that complications in the VA hospital. But it could be that he's always around me. He's as you well know, Carolyn knows, he's a real tease. And
Yeah.
yeah. And he always wanted to do stuff like this. Always. Yeah. And so that's why he's saying, well, you got to do it. And I didn't, so.
Yeah, guess who's doing it now?
He's doing it in my dreams. Wow. Well, Mary, did you write it down? You remind me of a dream. I take note, and then just like that, I remember nothing. So are you taking written notes, Mary? That's what you're going to have to do. And even if it seems like it's a crazy dream and there's no connection, there is really a connection to the dream. So don't give up. Yeah.
Well, and it even happens. I mean, it happens. I dreamt of hypnicity, and we were at a concert, and everything. I'm remembering more about it today than I did when I went to draw it down and write it down.
Oh.
And like it went boom right out of my head. And then last night, Annie Bear was in my dream, and I did start to draw that one, and then I couldn't finish because boom, that was out of my head.
Okay. So this is all I believe the energies then, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Must be the energies.
Yeah.
No, I cannot remember when I go to the writing utensils. So frustrating. Okay. So you're losing it real quick, Mary. Okay. But
Don't
alone
get
right
up.
now.
It's coming.
Don't
It's coming.
have a notepad next to your bed. Don't get up.
Yeah.
Or use a recorder
Right.
and record it immediately.
It does make a difference. Once your foot hits the floor, you lose a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. So I agree, Carolyn. Yeah. All right. So hello, Amanda, Leah, Mary Starshine. Oh, I think I said hello. Julie Hamill. Ramon is here. It's nice to see you. Rossi. Oh, Rossi's here. Yay. Rossi was in my dream class, and she's good. She's really good. So I hope you have something to share with us tonight too. So Linda Kennedy says she had a third eye vision of her sister Cindy. Then it broke apart like charred pieces. She just finished breast cancer radiation. Wow.
Nice.
That's a really good dream, wouldn't you say? It's like everything just shattered that was
The bad shattered out of her body.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have to put in pretty much poison? Isn't that what it is? The radiation is like a poison that takes away the
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, Linda, you had it here. That's amazing. I mean, you didn't have it in a dream. It was a vision. But wow. I love that. Broke apart like charred pieces. It burnt itself away. That's something else.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Yeah. I hope you told her, because I think it's important. It would be, it's somebody said this, and I think it's so true. They said that there's a lot of things in spirituality people don't want to talk about because they think it's weird, or they don't know if they believe in it. But most people, if they can remember a dream, don't mind sharing it and wanting to know what it, and I think it, because it's more, we all do it, or we go, what a weird dream, and then we share it because it's so weird we don't know what else to do with it. But I really do think it's an absolute way to access what's inside you, or what's holding you, or what you need. So yeah, very cool. I had an interesting vision while driving. I had a hazy sort of turquoisey blue line at the edge of the grass in the road. Lasted the whole 30-minute drive. What was I seeing? Was that
Ley
my
line.
Oh, ley
Yeah.
lines. Oh,
Yeah. Dragon line, ley line. Absolutely.
wow.
Wow.
You were under protection.
Yeah, definitely. My first thought was Archangel Michael, but he could have been there. But yeah, I didn't even think of ley lines. Anya, there's a place in I think it's Newfoundland, Canada, where you take your car and it's kind of on a hill, but not quite. And you put it in neutral and it brings you up the hill. It has some sort of magnetic resonance or something that brings your car up the hill without you putting your foot on anything. And I'm thinking that must be a very effective ley line. Ley lines can do those things, can't they?
Yep. We've got a couple of those here in Michigan.
Do you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, Mary, you dreamed you were playing with dirt. Why not, Mary? Are you making mud pies? A friendly man in a khaki uniform came up to me out of the dark. He smiled and handed me a small box wrapped in brown paper. When I took it, I woke up. Oh, that's past life, isn't it? Is that a soldier? A soldier? And a little girl?
Yeah, that was a candy bar.
Because that's how they wrapped stuff up like that, right?
Yeah, khaki uniform.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's Army.
Uh-huh. Wow. That's amazing. That's just amazing. It just reminds me of some of the movies. You know, it's movies, you can always tell what the country is going through from the movies that are currently playing. And right now it's all about Auschwitz, Birkenau, Nazi stuff. It's just it fascinates me that that's always been the case. But as I'm reading that, I'm seeing this man, and I had watched the show, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, over the weekend. And I know it's depressing, but it was very well done. It was really well done. And that I saw that whole thing. But this was like a soldier from the army, and you were a little girl. Maybe you were even in a war zone when that happened. But it was it was some candy. Oh, that's good.
Well, and they would always pass out candy, and
Yeah,
to the kids, they would have it with them.
mm-hmm. That's true. I get gratitude. There you go. That's cool. Yeah. All right. What else is happening in the world here? Let's see. You must have had a good time last night, Amanda, if you had Miss Tarot D in a dream. Oh my God. She is a hoot. She is fabulous. So interesting to have community members in one's dreams. We were deciding how to cut mauve colored strings like like shoelaces, she says. It's yeah. What do you think about that?
A dream meetup, huh?
And we tried that here before, and it's worked for Diana. It really has. It's amazing. Yeah. What would you say the shoelaces were? How to cut mauve colored strings like shoelaces? Well,
They weren't actually shoelaces.
okay.
They were in the shape of a shoelace,
Okay.
but they were to bind each other to each other.
That makes a lot of sense, Carolyn. It's like we're in the same community. We have the same love of it, or yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the untying.
How to cut strings.
Cut
It's not shield laces, it's shoelaces. I just wanted you to know that, but
Yeah. So they never made it to the shoes, so it's untied, right? It's
right.
set free.
Okay. Right, but she said they're like shoelaces, and that's what Carolyn was saying, that they were like strings that tied. So they would be a string that would tie you to another, because we are all invisibly corded to each other, aren't we?
Well, that's true, considering that it's this
Yeah.
community that she was
This
dreaming of.
community. Well, and mauve would be like a pink, yes?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Heartstrings.
Yes, it's a brownish pink.
Yes. So yes, heartstrings there. You probably had a past life with her, Amanda. That's so wonderful though. Yeah.
And she's also picking up that we are a community
Yes. Yep.
and that we do have a lot of love for each other and we're
Right.
bound to each other.
Bound. That's a good word to use. Bound together.
We are. I remember thinking and being told one time that we actually all have invisible strings to everyone we've ever met and to each other, unless we ask to cut those cords or those strings. We will remain with those people, you know, as tied to those people. But for instance, if you were having a situation where things were not the greatest, or for instance, I wanted to cut the strings with my ex-husband because it wasn't doing me any good. And so, you know, but other people that I've been with in my life, I don't usually want to cut those strings with. So,
Well, and in Celtic marriage, it's
Celtic.
hand tying, right? And so when you cut the strings, when
Yep.
it's getting rid of the marriage. So definitely the binding of
the binding. Yep.
common interest, common respect,
Yeah,
mutual respect, I should say.
that's really cool, Amanda. You'll have to tell Miss Tarot D. Rossi, I think, said that she had a dream with me in it, and I know we've had dreams like that in the community before. So
Yep.
yeah.
Where Allie doesn't know, but we all have.
I'm there, but you know, I don't remember always. That's probably because my brother is fooling with me or something. I don't know.
He's playing.
He's playing. Okay, Leah. Any of you see an issue with the overgrowth of mold in the Great Lakes that affects the respiratory system? I have 3 mold dreams. It's a dual purpose material. Wow.
Well, what color is it? Because red mold is an issue.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, mine here in the house was black, but spotty, you know, like spotted.
It still hadn't mastitized.
Right.
Oh.
That's correct. That's correct. But that's an interesting question. I'm going to pull up some cards on that one, I think.
Because
the respiratory
penicillin is greenish blue.
Uh-huh.
The red mold that grows in like Lake Superior gets it around the exhaust at the electric plant, the spillage into the lake.
Uh-huh.
It starts to turn red. It's been clinging in the ocean, and that they're concerned about.
Well, the environmental effect.
Mm-hmm.
With me, when I was living in Massachusetts, I was so desperately ill, and no one could figure out what was wrong with me. And I finally got somebody to look at me and decide that I had sick building syndrome. And it's essentially mold that was growing in the public storage apartment building. And I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do anything at the time. And then I found out that the building had been built on a toxic waste dump.
Oh, there you go. My daughter.
So, I mean, I had all these things going on, and all those things were affecting me. So, you know, I'm sure it gets into the DNA.
Oh, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. And we have to try to spiritually see if we can get rid of that whole thing, you know, and be uncompromising. And it really has more to do with the way that our environmental stuff, we can't compromise on it. And yet, as single individual people, we can't make those changes. It has to come from the government. It has to come from, you know.
It's what they're throwing in the ocean and those containers that are bursting open.
I know.
And, you know, the ocean has volcanoes, you know, I mean,
I know it does.
Stuff happens down there too that breaks that stuff open. There's pressure everywhere, pressure from the water, pressure from whatever Gaia has to
Oh,
spew
and
out.
the garbage thrown, because
Yeah.
actually between Seattle and Japan, there's a Texas-sized garbage dump of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
And there's
floating.
another one down at the bottom of the world that is the same thing. And it's plastics, it's cars, it's
Yeah.
it's everything that just
And it's
it
all-
where the waters converge. Yeah.
And it's not part of what we're supposed to be eating, yet
Oh,
it's
no.
in everything we eat and drink.
Everything we eat and drink.
And we wonder why we feel like we do. And then they just give you a whole bunch of drugs to make you think
Yeah.
you're going to get better, but you don't.
Well, that's the same thing that, people would, if you, they said, I don't want you to take that medicine anymore. So you throw the rest of it down the toilet, but it goes into the water system.
And you get it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
if you drink
Yeah.
dairy, you drink dairy. But when you're drinking dairy, you're getting all the hormones that the cow has been given so she
That's true.
can continue to
That's-
produce, and
Uh-huh.
all the antibiotics she's been getting because she's on machines almost
Mhm.
24 hours a day, and therefore she's bleeding, and therefore she needs antibiotics so she
Right.
doesn't get an infection, and that's in the milk.
Yeah.
So
Vicious circle.
Yeah.
it's just so vicious, such a vicious circle.
But it is a vicious circle, and not to be depressing here tonight, but I mean, it was a great question, and unfortunately, I don't know that we'll ever have the answer in our own lifetime.
Exactly.
don't
My daughter-in-law, Nick's wife, the house they lived in was a family house, right? For a long, long time. And once grandparents stopped owning that house, the people who next took it on didn't
Mhm.
take care of it. And there were leakings in the
Oh,
wall,
yeah.
and she got sick, almost dying from
I understand.
what you said. And
Yep.
it took her 6 years to get over the black mold
I believe it.
syndrome, and she still has issues.
Yep.
And including her emotional and ability to cope, like she used to be.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's just
Isn't that where a lot of our what is the suppression issues when we have what do you call it, like Guillain-Barré and some of the
yeah.
other
autoimmune diseases?
autoimmune. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grow up in Detroit while they're spewing cast
Oh.
iron into the.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, they still have that thing in Flint, don't they? They still have a problem with water in Flint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So. I mean, well, and that's Lake Huron. So what's been dumped into Lake Huron because of it?
Yeah, I know.
So this addresses some of those mold issues she's talking about.
Absolutely. Yep.
And even if it isn't affecting us from the Great Lake itself, all the other waters, the tributaries and the rivers running through here that exchange that water, what's
Mhm.
the difference? It's in the blood, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Evaporates as well. That goes obviously into the air, into the respiratory system as well. So, as I say, it's
Like recycling. Yeah, up in the water and in the sky.
Yeah.
So Tammy, you had nightmares last night. You had an abusive father and several siblings, and we ended up murdering him with shovels. Wow. You're really angry about something.
Mhm.
Mm.
In real life, was your father abusive? Did you have abandonment issues because of the relationship with him?
Remember, she could be her father representing her father here, and she may feel like she's abusing herself. And that's part of, because whoever's in the dream, the siblings included, are part of what her psyche is. So, murdering with shovels. Wow.
There's something, a section of your personality which you want to get rid of. So you took the shovel to
Yes.
this part of
Mhm.
that you want to get rid of, and you murdered that. But by doing that, that's going to be a good thing.
Right. You're
You're
getting rid of that. Yeah.
it's a
That part.
negative. Yeah, it's a negative part that you're going to release and
Right.
get rid of.
Anger can be a good thing. It is a release. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, it can, even though it seems like a creepy thing to think about killing somebody. But at the same time, if they're abusive, that's the only way some people can escape the abuse, you know.
Mhm.
So there is that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody for coming in. Hi, KK and Leah and Mousy, and oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you all here. Thank you so much for and hello, Jeff. Good to see you. Very nice. Very nice. All right.
Celtic Seer.
Celtic Seers here. Oh, good. Amanda, I always heard you need to be careful who you tell your dreams to. It's powerful. Let's say you express a sexual dream to a person in the dream. Oh, I get what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. Let's put it this way. I've woken up more than one time in the morning, having been with some other man in the evening in my dream. I don't particularly share that with my husband.
No, don't tell your husband.
So,
You don't
there
want
is that. There is that. Yeah. And it isn't because I feel guilty, because it was a dream. But, you kind of feel like, well, why did I have that dream? Am I not
Well,
happy
and
or-
if he's having them, he ain't telling you. So
That's true. That's true. So, yeah.
And it might
Yeah.
be somebody you're not even attracted to. You just have the dream.
You had to
So
have the dream.
don't
Yeah.
go around telling them, oh, I had a sexy dream about you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, but let's not take that any further.
Right.
I mean-
Right. That's right.
and
Although
some-
I don't want to
sometimes
wake
it's
up
just-
sometimes. Yeah.
it's just a little of our own lost libido returning.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because when you're asleep, well, I mean, I don't
You
want to
have
be
no age
blunt
when
here, but we know that men can have emissions when
Right.
they sleep. It happens. And, so this is our way of enjoying ourselves, I guess is the best way to say it. But
I
anyway.
think we've all had one of those dreams.
I think so, Carolyn.
Rossi says, just don't dream of 45 that way. No problem.
No.
On Diaper Dawn. It
right.
was funny because Diaper Dawn fell asleep several times today, they say. And when he does, he dream farts. And every time he does, Eric sitting right behind him goes, but he does that to cover it. But, they only guess they're sitting right behind him, I don't know.
I wouldn't even be in the same courtroom.
Oh,
you kidding?
no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laurie.
Laurie, that was from a while ago, but I wanted to show it to you. All right.
Well, and can I say something to address? It was Anja who had seen that line, right? The
Uh-huh.
blue-
Yes, Anya. Yep.
So,
Mhm.
I was driving through Fenton Saturday evening,
Mhm.
getting all hyped. Okay, we're going to go watch. I'm going to go outside again tonight and take more pictures. And suddenly there was this huge black cloud felt like the whole county, definitely over the whole town of Fenton. And behind me was the setting sun.
Uh-huh.
Big, beautiful orange ball. Like, how did that get in the sky? How did that one little section of the sky not be under this huge black cloud? So there was I had the dogs and there was no way for me to pull over to take a picture of this outrageous rainbow that was being poured out of those clouds.
Oh, wonderful.
And when I say poured, I mean, it was
Mhm.
three-dimensional. It was it was a tube. Was it Sherwin-Williams that had the paint can?
Uh-huh. Yes, I
This
remember
is
that.
what
Yeah.
it looked like, was
Okay.
Sherwin-Williams paint
Uh,
can ad with
uh-huh.
all the rainbow. And they used to have a display where it was 3D, right? You could walk
Right,
all the
right.
way around
Yep.
it and see
Yep.
this tubular thing. That's what it looked like.
That's
And
beautiful.
as I'm
Yeah.
traveling through town, heading towards home, that cloud didn't move. It lifted. It dissipated by rising. It wasn't,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
size was the spaceship under it?
I know. I was just gonna say that.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
over more
Yeah.
than the eye could
Yeah.
guesstimate how many miles
I
it was
understand.
covering.
Yeah.
And then it just
Went away.
disappeared.
Went
And there
away.
was absolutely no movement in those clouds either. So
Mhm. Wow. That's beautiful. Just
it
beautiful.
was. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like,
And those are the colors that the solar storms are also dropping on us, really, if you think about it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you
Mhm.
know, I mean, I love rainbows, but they're always
Mhm.
flat Stanleys, you know?
Well, when my dad died, I saw a double rainbow, a
Yeah,
double
but
one, and it
there's
was
no, you don't
amazing.
see
Yeah.
that 3D
Usually you don't see it from one end to the other. You're right. Yeah. 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 That's wonderful. All right. So Leah had a vision to remark. It says both hips, MRI. It took 45 minutes, half in the machine. After 30 minutes in, I was seeing violet light between my eyes. I opened them. It was still there. Crazy. Doesn't the MRI have a violet light that's used in order to see? I don't know.
I don't know either. I've never had one.
Okay.
I've had them, but I don't remember any lights.
Okay. But you just lay there and it's some kind of thing that's it's a magnetic imaging, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you would think it would have some, because see, Keith has a laser himself that he uses, and it's got red light, and he uses it, and it's helped to, he actually used it during COVID. He had his patients, use the light on their hands before he would do anything with them. And so I'm thinking that perhaps there was something in there, and she was just really able to see that magnetic, because isn't it a magnetic resonance imaging is an MRI?
Oh,
So, yeah. What does it say? Did you look?
no,
Oh.
I'm answering. Wiki.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right. Leah, I think, I'm not sure that there was violet light there from that, or not, but it's a beautiful thing to see the violet light, because that would be Saint Germain with you.
Yeah, and the flame.
And the violet flame. Yeah. So, kind of a spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. We have just a couple more. It's almost time. Let's see. Jules, it's nice to see you, honey. My cousin told me she had a dream of our grandmother canning apricots, okra, plums, whatever she grew in the yard. My cousin has been under a lot of life's pressures. Wow. Okay. And you think grandma was saying to her that she can? I love it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she is with her and helping her shift.
Let
Yeah,
it go.
Oh, I love that.
I do too.
There's
Good for you,
nothing
Jill.
more you can say, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it was, vegetables and, well, it was known as vegetables and fruits, which are really good for you, which could be a reminder to eat better. But yes, I love the can. You can do it. I do love that. And she's with her and helping her shift from can't to can. There you go. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, that's what the little grandmothers used to do. Between that, I never had a grandmother because she was passed, but the lady that lived behind me was an older lady, and she had one of those washing machines with the rollers, you know, that she'd roll
Mhm.
the clothes through. And she made donuts all the time. Oh, they were so good. I loved it. You could smell the donuts wafting through the air. And I would go up there. I think I need to go see Mrs. Richardson. I'll be back, you know.
Something I need.
Yeah. Something I need, and only Mrs. Richardson can give it to me. That's right. Yeah.
MRI is magnetic resonance,
Resonant imaging. Yep. Yep.
not red resonance.
Right. But it doesn't say if it has a color. It doesn't say.
No, it does not.
Okay. All right. Yeah, very good. KK, you saw Dragon's Eye in the auroras over the weekend. It was a beautiful, even saw a shooting star and heard a whole new world. It was quite the experience. My daughter got a picture of it looks like an eagle in a cloud. And so I really do think they were all meant for us to see beautiful. That's wonderful, KK. I love that you shared that. Hi, Patricia Francino. Okay. The rainbow.
That was to inform the world that there's more out there than we believe.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Laurie, you see the violet on a regular basis. I've been told Saint Germain and Lady Nada fill in the in-between space. They're lovely. Yeah. Yeah. You may be called. They tell me that you could access any of the Ascended Masters that you want, but that Saint Germain tends to pick who he wants to deal with. That's what I heard anyway. Whether or not, I mean, I don't have it in writing, so I don't know for sure. But
Well, he's like Merlin, right? He's the
Yeah.
next. He's the next incarnation of Merlin.
Yep. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
With me, he'd go, her? Oh no. No.
he
Been
says she
there,
hangs
done
out with
that.
all those dead rock stars hang out with her. So I don't think I'd get any sleep.
I don't get any sleep.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. That's funny. Yep. Well, thank you everybody for being here this evening, and stick with positive attitude during all of these energy shifts. Cut yourself a break. I have to remember that myself.
Love
And
that.
yeah.
And
we
yes,
all-
you can. Yes, you
Yes.
can.
Yes, you can.
I love
Yes, you
that.
can.
Shall pass.
This will pass. That's right. Absolutely. And it's interesting because Peter knows what the Rainbow Girls are, but because he's a Mason, but a lot of people don't know who the Rainbow Girls are. And I used to be a Rainbow Girl, and we learned all about the colors of the rainbow. And you go to specific stations of while you're going around, and you're installing people into the Rainbow Girls. And then there's other beautiful names of people that you can be, like Hope, Faith, Charity, and some of the other ones. And Rainbow Girls, do they do the can? No, they don't do the can. Your sister was a Rainbow. Okay. Yeah, no, it's very, very, it's a spiritual group for young women. And we did fundraising, and we wore beautiful white gowns with crowns on our head. And yeah, it was really wonderful. And it just taught me so much about colors and the importance of them and what they mean. So Diana sees them tipping over, and I was one. So there you go. Do they still have the Rainbow Girls in your lodge, Peter? They do. Okay.
Not in the lodge, but in the district next to ours.
In the district next, and the De Malay boys too. The De Malay.
Yes.
Oh,
And Job's
wow.
daughters as well.
And Jovi's daughters. Yeah. Okay. That's wonderful. Oh, thank you, Anya. Everybody have a beautiful day. What is it, Diana? What did you want to say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying yes, echoing you to Anya. So
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn and Peter. Carolyn's looking pretty good. She's got some good news. Her mom's going to come visit, and she hasn't seen her in person for a number of, like you said, 3 years? 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And she's in her 90s. I think that's so exciting. I wish I could be there.
Does she have talent?
Yeah.
Huh?
Talent?
Mhm.
Oh, well, this ought to be really exciting. Nobody's sleeping now.
I know. Yeah.
No.
Oh, Amanda, you had Rainbow Girls? Okay. And Mousy, you knew about it? Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week when we will have Miss Terry and Miss Kelly back. And thank you to Diana, Carolyn, and Peter. Much love to all of you.
No, thank you too.
You're
Love
welcome. Bye-bye, everyone.